Hey guys, I'm really excited to share this update with you for your design. When we met last, you said that you were pretty happy with the overall shape and look of the home, but we came up with a couple really good changes on the fly, such as taking the gable roof over the garage, making it a hip roof. But there were a couple comments that you made that might have been on the fly, uh, but they really stuck with me. And the comments were sort of the boxiness of the master suite, which we'll get to in a bit, but also the fact that the entry here in the corner wasn't quite suiting you. You wanted a little more height, and you wanted it to be a bit more centered on the elevation here at the front. And so, I explored sort of looking at, could I have just continued the roof slope up this way to get some more added height in the foyer? And I really wasn't satisfied with anything I've been coming up with. And so I did take a look at reconfiguring the floor plan at the front area here to allow for the elevation to be in the center, naturally being taller, but still having a really good sort of layout for the home where the foyer now comes in between and enters the home, centered between the living area and the dining room. So I've reconfigured the square feet or the floor plan here, and I think I'm quite happy with the look. So the entry is right here, centered in the elevation. We have a tall window here at the height, at the top of the full height entry. I've introduced a little low roof element here just to sort of break the scale of this elevation down and make it a little more interesting. Downplayed this stone portal leading to the courtyard a bit now that the front elevation is over here in the center, and the front entry, and it's so domineering now. I kind of want to downplay this. I still think it's nice. I still think it's nice to have this element with a 6'8" tall gate leading into the courtyard. I like that a lot, but downplayed from what we had. If we take a real quick, very rough mock look of the floor plan here, we'd be coming into the foyer. I propose to have a little coat closet right here off the entry. And then you'd come past these two posts here, and you'd be in sort of the circulation zone that would lead you into the living room area, with a lot of windows engaging out into the backyard space, side yard space, but also with a sliding glass door that would lead into a very large, expansive covered pergola area. And then the dining room, instead of occupying this space here, I said let's shift it down, towards the front part of the house and more of the courtyard area. But it still has a good connection to the kitchen, the family room, and now a little bit part of the living room as well, and now the courtyard. But this sort of reconfiguration of the floor plan is what's allowing for an elevation that I think might get you just a little more excited about the front elevation. So touring around the rest of the home here, I like that you guys were really into the pergola idea out here, but again, because of the shift in configuration of the floor plan, I now think it'd probably be a good idea to bring this pergola element up against the tall southern-facing wall. This is going to provide a lot of great shade for these windows here that are going to would otherwise get really impacted by the southern sun. This overhang up here, really impressive roof overhang up here, is going to protect these clear-story windows just fine. But this pergola element down here below provides a lot of really great shade and kind of creates a little outdoor space for you. Without it, I think the home is still quite fantastic, but certainly with that piece, it sort of helps bring people out into this southern elevation, or out onto your southern elevation party space. Very excited about this. So a change that we talked about here that I've now explored further was to say, hey, what could we do to make this back wall a lot classier? What I had quickly mocked up for you when we met last time was something where, what if we just did one of those bifolding accordion doors where each one of these panels is about 32 inches wide, so just a little under 3 feet wide, and they can all sort of accordion fold and live over here in a stack on the side. That's one way of doing it, but I really like seeing fewer panels, fewer frames, more glass to frame ratio, with a sliding pocket door. So what I would propose here is that all of these these three panels, which are 5 foot wide each, so 15 foot wide opening, these would all slide away into a pocket right here that's also 5 feet wide. And so these really just sort of disappear from view and really give you this great outdoor connection, unhindered, uninterrupted. Perhaps maybe we want to go with maybe just an L-shaped furniture arrangement rather than anything with a back right here up against all this glass, but that's interior design for another day, of course. But I really, really like this. With a special treatment here where we have this really expensive door down below, I'd say let's go for these expensive rake top windows, these angle top windows that just go right up to the ceiling plane. And then inside, to provide a little interest and rhythm to the ceiling plane. This is so rough right now. I'm hesitant to really show this to you, but I propose that we'd see sort of a continuation of these express roof beams on the inside to provide a little visual interest and sort of hopefully get a bit of twofer, a little more bang for the buck out of the structural frame universe. So this is something I'd want to explore a little bit more if you're intrigued by it, of course. Study it, iterate on it. Right now, this is just sort of a first pass on it. I've incorporated a little outdoor kitchen here now off of the main indoor kitchen. My one concern about this is, first of all, I don't know if you do a lot of outdoor cooking, if this is something you'd even really want. But if it was, is it sufficient for you to have it here when, the way to get out to the kitchen easily is going to be through these swinging or sliding glass doors here, rather than this larger sort of showpiece door. These doors, these sliding glass panels, they can open, of course, and it's not too hard to do it, but if you've got a platter full of chicken or something like that, or vegetables that you just grilled up that you're coming in from, you're going to want easy access. So I wonder if we're going to do an outdoor kitchen here, do we need to make sure that we've got this as a door rather than ganging the doors up over here like I like doing? Having this be a circulation zone right here, right in line with the hallway leading to the bedrooms right here. I really like this being the circulation zone, but maybe we want to consider breaking the countertop right here, in the kitchen. Say come over here with 3'6" or something like that, break through here, and just have this be a small little bit of countertop. Maybe it comes a little bit further into the living space, a little bit maybe, I don't know. And then these three windows, maybe this becomes a swinging door that really connects right out to that outdoor kitchen. That could be really nice, but I want to get your thoughts on that. Also, I know you've wanted to have the sink up against this window looking out here. I'm tempted to say maybe the sink wants to be on the island. I mean, look at this view. This is really, really special. I could just say that for me personally, at the end of the day doing dishes, I think I'd rather look out with this huge vaulted ceiling opening up before me. This long view is really fantastic. This view is great too, I'm sure, but it feels a little bit turned to the side. Of course, you're still in the room. I think I'm splitting hairs here, but I think if it were completely up to me, I'd put the sink here on the island now. Okay. The courtyard hasn't changed much. I still really like the way the courtyard was, and so this redesign keeps a lot of what we had going, integral to this design as well. The one really great thing, though, is that now with the dining space right here, this wall makes a lot more sense to have sliding glass on it. Before, with this being the foyer, I felt like it was kind of forced. Now I think with the dining areas connected right here, I'm really excited about it. I don't know why the tree in the courtyard isn't showing up right now, but of course that's still part of this design. The rest of the spaces are pretty much the same as what we saw last time, with the exception now of a change I'm proposing at the master suite. So something's a little messed up here. What I'm proposing now is, instead of just a simple continuation of the roof we had over the guest bedrooms, we would now instead do something that sheds up much like the great room's doing. So when we stand back here in the backyard, both the great room and the master suite are going to slope up simple shed style with large clear-story windows above their lower doors. So lower doors here in the master bedroom, low windows and doors here in the great room, higher windows up above. I like this as a motif. I think it's really quite striking. But let's see. Yeah, I like this a lot. I think though, because the master suite is a smaller space, I think the scale and the heights might need a little bit of adjustment. Like I don't think yet propose to do the same kind of beam treatment at the master suite. I'd like the master suite to be a slightly secondary volume to the great room. So though it's got the same roof slope and some of the same kind of window design, we wouldn't do exactly the same detailing for both spaces, just so that feels secondary to the great room. Just a quick fly around for the rest of the house. And of course, we can go over this all together live, but I'm really curious to hear your thoughts on the revisions here. Again, just a quick review for where we were before. A lot simpler, a lot less definition of the materials. So I guess one thing to note is that I am showing now the proposed material palette. Although the model is still a little bit rough, what I would propose is that we'll do almost entirely the entire house out of painted fiber cement siding. So this would be vertical siding made out of fiber cement, which would be a fire-resistant, insect and rot-resistant material that needs very little maintenance. I think is really perfect for your high fire hazard area. And it would either simply be painted one of two exterior colors, either the white, which is very appropriate for the farmhouse look, or then there are certain volumes, the tall volumes, that would be painted gray, just for some contrast. Now, of course, the white and gray can change a bit, but I think for a farmhouse look, a very sort of neutral color palette is appropriate. So white, gray, and tans would be appropriate as well. So I'm showing a little bit of a tan stone base at the front elevation, tucked under the windows of the dining room and the living room. And then that same tan stone accent would be used for the fireplace, as well as the thick wall that would host the pocket for the pocket doors, and then any other sort of accessory elements that we can add stone to logically, like the outdoor kitchen and your master bedroom fireplace would have that same stone veneer. And then a simple comp shingle roofing, simple painted white wood trim, black windows that are very large and tall in proportion with a little bit of a simulated divided light, all will give you a really nice farmhouse appeal. And I really like this front elevation. I think this is a lot of farmhouse charm with these sort of angled, simple angled roof brackets that support a simple angled roof shed. I think that's really, really nice. Well guys, I can't wait to hear your feedback on these perhaps drastic changes. I hope you like it, but if not, I will continue to iterate for you. Looking forward to setting up a meeting with you. Thank you.